In Xanadu did Kublai Khan a stately pleasure dome decree. Hey, friends! This time we're looking at a musical from the disco era, one widely considered to be a disaster. Namely, Xanadu from 1980, starring the late Olivia Newton-John, Michael Beck from The Warriors, and Hollywood legend Gene Kelly. One of my viewers, Michael, he sent me this off of my wish list a little while back. Thanks, man. I didn't have a copy, so it's nice to have this on blue. Picture quality looks great, too. Thanks. This movie is kind of a legend, and for all the wrong reasons. So you may have heard of this one, sure, but what's it all about? And is it really a disaster? Well, our story goes like this. Sonny is an artist, but when he tries to go freelance, he finds he isn't inspired and can't make any money, so he's forced to return to work for a music company where painters are hired to make these large-scale paintings of record albums to hang up at record shops. You wouldn't think so, but apparently this is an effective marketing campaign that sells records. Seems like you could just print them out like they do on billboards and be cheaper, but whatever. One day, he has a case of the sads and meets this here sexy chick who roller skates up to him and gives him a smooch, then disappears. Story of my life. Only without the smooch. This mysterious chick shows up again and again. Eventually they meet and she inspires Sonny. Why? Well, turns out she's not just a cool chick, she's a muse. Literally. She's Terpsichore, one of the 9 muses from Greek mythology, the daughters of Zeus. See, she and her sisters go around inspiring people. It's what they do. Well, the outfits they wear certainly inspire me. Well, anyway, they first arrive by coming out of this here wall mural looking like a security guard on Star Trek who just got hit by a phaser beam. Sonny meets an older guy named Danny, formerly a big band leader. He also had a muse once who, coincidentally, not so coincidentally, is a dead ringer for Terpsichore, but he let her get away and subsequently gave up music. But now, Sonny turns Danny onto the idea of opening a club at an old public venue where Sonny and Terpsichore met. Terpy is going by the name Kira in this. This club will be named Xanadu. Things reach a point where Kira eventually has to confess to Sonny who and what she is. Unfortunately, she's only supposed to inspire people, not fall in love with them. But she's fallen for Sonny, so she has to go back to Never Neverland. Them's the rules. Will Sonny and Kira get together? Will Xanadu be a success? And will roller disco ever come back in fashion? Xanadu started life as a small-budget roller disco movie, a fad going on at the time. But before long, Olivia Newton-John took an interest, and then they convinced the legendary Gene Kelly to be in it. And then it went off the rails from there. Now, this picture got trapped in production hell. There were huge delays, cost overruns. The release date got moved up from Christmas to July. Just all kinds of problems. The script went through draft after draft after draft and never really got finished. They just kept shooting these incredible dance numbers until they eventually ran out of money. The set for the Xanadu Club alone cost $1 million to build. In 1980 money. One fun thing is that this light-up rotating stage we see was originally the carousel from Logan's Run. Good thing most of these people look like they're under 30. Gene Kelly might be in trouble, though. The club's exterior uses the Art Deco structure of the then still standing Pan Pacific Auditorium. It was destroyed in a fire. We talked about that elsewhere on the channel in my review of Ghost Warrior. Right from the start, this movie got a lot of hate, and I never really understood that. Is Xanadu a little dopey? Flawed? Well, sure. Some of the interactions Sonny has with the studio boss makes the boss look kinda cartoonish, and the dialogue in those scenes isn't very good. And there are a few lapses in logic, like, are all these people at the grand opening employees and hired performers? If so, where are the customers? And there's one number towards the end where Olivia Newton-John is just stands in there. I mean, sure, she's singing, that's fine, but there's not much motion in the scene at all, so it just kind of drags visually. And why does the daughter of a Greek god have an Aussie accent? Not that I'm complaining, but none of that explains the hate. All I can think of is that Xanadu features disco music, albeit somewhat watered-down disco music. Disco was a style some people just cringed at, and the backlash over the genre eventually caused disco to fade out just a few years later. As for Xanadu, it was a major box office flop. This movie tanked so hard you'd think it was General Patton. It opened on less than 300 screens, and critics famously declared Xanadu to be Xanadon't. But even so, Xanadu has a lot going for it. The cast is alright, Sonny and Kira have a nice chemistry, the cinematography is very good, looks great, the special effects work, the soundtrack featuring songs by Olivia Newton-John and ELO, the Electric Light Orchestra, was a smash and went double platinum. Magic, suddenly, all over the world, Whenever You're Away From Me, and the title track, Xanadu, all iconic songs. The film features the last screen role played by Gene Kelly, dancing and roller skating, and he does a retro Hollywood musical dance number with Olivia Newton-John, and he still got it. He looks good. Kids, certainly today, could watch this. It's upbeat, it plays with the concept of the muses from Greek myths. We literally see Kira, Terpsichore, playing the muse, inspiring the artist. The movie even has an animated sequence by Don Bluth. And yet, this is the movie that spawned the Golden Raspberry Awards, the Razzies. The director of Xanadu, Robert Greenwald, became the first recipient of a Razzie. But even the creator of the award, John Wilson, lists Xanadu as among the top 10 most enjoyable bad movies. If Xanadu was the worst movie ever made, then surely it must have been dethroned by now. Right? I mean, had to have been, right? Surely. We often think of this picture as a weird, totally spontaneous creation from the disco era. This may come as a shock, but believe it or not, Xanadu is not entirely original. The basic premise of Xanadu resembles the plot of a classic film from 1947 called Down to Earth, starring Rita Hayworth as Terpsichore. It also has my personal favorite comedic actor, Edward Everett Horton. I love that guy. In this one, Terpy is ticked off at how a Broadway producer's new play portrays the Greek god, so she steps in to try and fix it. Hey, if Rita Hayworth wasn't qualified to play a goddess, I don't know who was. Sexy chick. Well, look, in spite of the hate this movie got hit with, and is still tarnished by to this day, Xanadu is really fun. It's original, upbeat, it's got a great soundtrack, a modern and clever take on the muses, it has an innocence, and best of all, it's a lighthearted snapshot of an era long gone. We can't seem to have or allow sweetness in anything today, but Xanadu has that, and I'm glad it was made in a time when that could exist. There's at least a little bit of magic here that sparkles, albeit in the light of a disco ball. So I'm giving this one 3 paws up. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I'm giving Xanadu 3 paws. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.